Hello and welcome to this special show on Rajya Sabha television. I am Vishal Dahiya, and here we bring you all the developments with respect to India's fight against COVID-19. Now, one very important aspect in this battle against this particular pandemic has been the use of technologies, specifically the digital technologies, be it in terms of artificial intelligence, machine learning, cloud computing, data analytics, or the way we communicate. And this is not going to be only for this particular period, but in a post-COVID scenario as well, there is going to be a lot of impact on the way we have learned from our experiences of these technologies during this particular period. Let's start the discussion and let's start by trying to understand how digital technology has been used and what have been the benefits per se. Parag, let's start with you.
Thank you, Vishal, for having me on the show. I mean, just imagine if something of this sort had hit us about 15 years ago, right? I think we would have been in a far greater, worse situation than we are today. It's largely because, because of the technologies, the digital technologies such as, the cloud stuff that has actually kind of given us a small cushion, at least for the cyber world, so to speak. As we went into COVID, as a company, we are a startup, and most startups are having, these are nuclear winters for a lot of startups, right? We thought, it's going to be a big, long winter, and we might have to hibernate. Turns out that certain sectors, such as ours, we are a hardware semiconductor company doing telecom, wireless telecom. It has never been so good. In fact, in the last 2 months, we have been closing far more deals than we would have earlier done that. And this is basically riding on the back. There is already a groundswell, I think, of a transition to the digital part of the. Also some of the stuff that the government has been doing on on the jam part and all of it. So riding on the back of it, this COVID situation actually acted as a catalyst, and it spurred. It created a groundswell and an inflection point. And some of the things like, entertainment, the way entertainment is being consumed, the way we are going to work, that's a new normal. In fact, we have not had, with some of our customers, we have not even seen them face to face, but we have been able to close deals. Okay. That's been the overall impact. That's the landing has been softer than it would have been if not for some of the digital technologies that we are so used to today.
Let's move a bit further. If you could look at listing down several aspects of this digital technology which have not only helped us during this particular period, but in a post-COVID period as well, will continue to stay with us, will have a lot of impact on our lives, will have a lot of impact of on the way we carry on with our lives.
Yeah, sure, Vishal. I think just to add to what Abhishek and Jiten said on the education part, on the online education part. In fact, I've always maintained that we have moved away from an information deficit era, where we grew up as kids with, getting access to books was so difficult, to an information-rich era, right? So the way you got to do education is going to be very different from what, and this is going to be a trigger point. And coming back to your specific question on that, there's a whole lot of technologies, right? It's what I call the cyber physical infrastructure. It's not just like we have got roads. We want to lay roads to ensure that there's a smooth supply chain. You all for transfer of goods and all of that. You also need to have a parity in the telecom infrastructure across the country. One of the things that I see, because the migrant labor has gone back. And they're not going to come from reasonable. I'm not an expert on that. They're not going to come back reasonably soon. There will be a lot of need for connectivity in rural areas, right? And connectivity 20 years back was thought of as a luxury. It's no longer a luxury, right? It's gone to a point where it's going to the next level, where these apps that we are using today will start to get used in rural areas, and we need to build an infrastructure there. Now. I work in, I'm not a IT guy. We are a semiconductor company, especially for the telecom side. And in telecom, in the last 20 years, if you see, there's been a revolution. And all these things have happened because of certain policies that were taken in 99-2000 timeframe, the National Telecom Policy. And that have resulted in all these technologies. But that has helped the demand side a lot, right? So we have always had a problem with the supply side. There's absolutely no Indian manufacturer today of phones, of telecom infrastructure equipment and all of that. And like Jiten said, the COVID part and also the macro wind of anti-China sentiments all over the world is actually going to give a big boost to telecom hardware, indigenous telecom hardware manufacturing, and also design in India. Right, so you will see a lot of people come out. You will see a lot of. In fact, we are as we speak, we are also building our own phone for certain application in the US. So people will start to build phones. Will go to build hardware. That hardware ecosystem is actually also going to take place. That to me is one of the biggest trends. The other ones are, I think, there is at least in my field, there's this marrying. We are marrying AI ML to the telecom layer at the RF part. So that is going to generate a lot of data, and that's going to make telecom infrastructure more efficient. And in India, we are at the forefront of that, and that is actually also going to roll. And then the applications, I think Abhishek and Jiten will add to it. I mean, there's a lot of other applications that would come around, and there's new business models that we actually wouldn't have thought would have happened. In fact, most of our vegetables today are now coming directly through the farmer. In fact, we a lot of times talk to farmers and get that. So they are connected, and therefore they are able to now deliver directly, cutting the middleman out. So those second order benefits are also going to improve. And the other last point is the other second order benefit I see is basically increase in automation in India, right? Generally everywhere. So I think there is you will see a lot of dishwasher sales going up. You will see a lot of washing machine sales going up, and people will go to doing more productive jobs than the regular menial job is what I foresee.